Let's move to the next topic, which is characteristics of variables. There are some certain rules that are associated with variable declarations. You must have to know those rules. Without knowing them, it's difficult to deal with variables. So let's discuss them one by one. Very first rule is variable must not be start from a number, which means that if you are declaring a variable, you cannot start that variable name with any number. If you are doing this, this is not allowed. It will give you compile time error. The next rule is more than one variable having same name in the same function is not allowed. For example, if you are declaring some method and inside that method, any method, for example, method name is show, inside that method, you will try to declare a variable with the name of something, for example, z, and then you are writing some piece of code, and then again you are declaring another variable. Doesn't matter whether the variable type is same or different. If you are defining the variable again with the same name, then that is not allowed. More than one variable with the same name in the same function is not allowed, because then addressing issue will start coming. Because if, for example, if you try to declare the variables like this, and then after that if you'll say somewhere z is equal to 20 or 10 whatever, then there will be a assignment issue. It is difficult for the compiler to identify that exactly which variable you want to assign that value, because there are two variables with the same name, and that's why this rule is. Now let's move to the next rule, which is variable must be declared before its first use. Now, guys, whenever you will deal with variable, you will generally use these three terminologies. One is declaration, which is variable declaration, or variable initialization, or variable assignment. What are the differences between them? Let's understand this first. So for example, if you are saying int x or something int z, if you are saying this, that means you are actually doing declaration. Declaration means you are creating a memory container with the name of z and the size of the container as per the data type. If it is of integer type, obviously it will be of 4 byte. So this is known as declaration. When you very first time define the memory container with data type, that is known as declaration. Then the next terminology we use is initialization. Initialization means very first time after declaration when you assign a value to the variable, that is known as initialization. For example, if I'm declaring it z here and then after I'm assigning some value here, that very first time assigning the value to this container z, that is known as initialization. It could be implement in two ways. One is like this, or else you can do it in two steps. You will again say z is equal to 10. That is also known as initialization. The third terminology we use is assignment. After initialization, at any point of time, if you again assign some new value to the same variable, then that is known as assignment. So very first time assigning the value is known as initialization, and then after every assignment is just simply called as assignment. So these three terminologies we use: declaration, initialization, and assignment. Now the rule says that variable must be declared before its initialization, which means that you cannot say that I am assigning some value here first and then after I'll declare the variable. Because when compiler will start compiling it, it will start compiling line by line, and when it finds this z, it will start looking z into its compiled code, and it will not find that z in compiled code, and that's why it will start giving you error. And that's why this rule is every time whenever you want to use the memory, before you will use, you have to declare it first, and that is what variable must be declared before its first use. Next rule is variable must not be a keyword. For example, if you are declaring a variable, you cannot define a variable name as a keyword name. There are total 68 keywords in Java. What is keyword? Keyword is nothing but those are the preserved words that are used for a specific purpose. Okay, for example, you use int, float, double. These names, these words are keywords, whether it is data type or something else, but these words are preserved words. Similarly, you have for, if, switch, case, catch, try, like that. There are total 68 keywords in Java, and these words are preserved words. So for example, if you'll try to declare a variable something like this, you will say, I want to declare a variable with the name of 4, or if I want to declare a variable with the name of catch, this is not allowed. Variable name must not be a keyword. Next rule is space is not allowed, which means that when you are declaring a variable, variable name must not contain any space. For example, if I am declaring a variable with the name of demo of Java, that's not allowed. You cannot define a variable which is having spaces. So for example, if you need to add some space in variable name, then you can use underscore rather than using space, and that is acceptable. Then the next rule is same type of variable can be declared by using comma operator, which means that if you want to declare, for example, more than one variables of same type, for example, if I want to declare a, comma b, comma c, comma d like that, I can declare them by separating comma operator. And even while declaring them, I can also initialize them like this. I want to initialize a with 10 value, b I don't want to initialize, c I want to initialize with 20, and like that. If you want to perform declaration along with the initialization, that is allowed, and you can declare more than one variables of same type by separating them comma operator. But always remember, you have to use the same data type for all those variables. You cannot declare in between their float f something like that. That's not allowed. Then the last rule is variable name must be meaningful. Okay, which means when you are declaring a variable and if you are putting the variable name something like a only, it is not making any sense what is a, what it is actually holding. Because if you are having any class where you are putting multiple variables, 10 15 variables are there, and all the variable names are something like a, b, c, d, then later on when you'll start using them, you'll start getting confused that the b variable is containing what value, c variable is containing what value. So we always put the variable name as per its property that it is holding. For example, if I'm holding age in some variable, I'll put the variable name as age. So always remember that variable name must be as per its property that it is holding. So it makes my code more readable. Now, the last rule says that variable name must not contain any operator. For example, if you are declaring a variable and you are saying a plus b, I am declaring a variable with the name of a plus b. Plus is an operator. If you use that operator within the name of variable, then that operator will start trying to perform operation between operands. A and B are known as operands, and then it will be a problem. It will not allow you to compile the code. Okay, so you always taking care of this. Whenever you will declare any variable, variable name must not contain any operator. These are the characteristics of variable that everyone must know them, because without them you cannot deal with variables.